At Erskine Owen, we're no strangers to delivering value-add property results. Just a couple of examples for you of how we've managed to achieve that. In December 2018, we purchased a 5-hectare lodge in Queenstown for $5 million. The reason we purchased that is that it is or was zoned lifestyle rural, but our analysis of that property suggested strongly to us that eventually that piece of land would have to become residential because of the expansion of the city. Essentially, there was nowhere else in the city that the Queenstown could go for further residential development. And so we launched that property, and on that basis we attracted investment. And sure enough, a couple of years after purchase, in about 2020, the council announced that it was embarking on a rezone of that site to turn it into residential. So we've travelled with the council and neighbours and seen that go all its way through. So it's now approved by council, so council has approved for it to turn residential, and the very last step now is it simply has to be signed off by the ministry. So essentially it's a fait accompli. The result is that in March 2022, that property got revalued to $19.6 million, and obviously investors were pretty happy about that result, and that translates into an annual return of about 130%. And recent discussions with valuers suggest that there will be a further uplift in value as soon as the ministry sign-off is obtained. Another example is that we purchased a lodge in Hamilton, a 32-bedroom lodge on the CBD fringe, with the view that eventually the expansion of the city would make that site more and more appealing from a residential point of view as well, that it could become a residential site. Last year, we managed to negotiate a lease over the property, a 6-year lease with a tenant that is government funded, and that increased the value of the property significantly. And one last example is that in 2019, we purchased the Watties Distribution Centre in Hastings, and we launched that with an 8% yield, or return on equity to investors, which is not the value add component. The value add component is that we paid approximately $19.6 million for the property, and in 2022 that property got revalued at $37 million. So a significant capital uplift for investors. So as you can see, we believe that we've got a solid track record of delivering value add